as an e-blast.
Yeah, we've got the application. Maybe we could add some color to that and make it spiffy.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let them choose and then they.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get dozens of applications, I believe. Because, I was a member of the Beach City Health District. They have their own awards probably, but I'm saying all these other ones probably don't have any kind of recognition.
We're gonna have long meetings.
We're gonna have 3-hour meetings sifting through the dozens of applicants.
For what you wish for.
I think it's probably more push-ups would be, the contest.
Lots of people.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah, it's going well. We appreciate that. And if you have any suggestions, we can discuss at now or a later date. So any questions?
Good job.
And then onto the Park Rangers Subcommittee. And I'm on this subcommittee, and I don't think we have had any development since our last meeting.
No, and I will, we do need to schedule a meeting with the police department as well as code enforcement again, kind of a follow-up meeting. And I don't believe we ever met with Public Works as well. So I will start to get those going. And then also, Commissioner Deckman, since you're here, I will circle back with you and Commissioner Blair so we can have a kickoff meeting for the pickleball subcommittee. So we'll get that on the calendar soon as well.
Okay, great.
Okay, I think that concludes J1. On to J2, which is Director's Report.
Thank you. I have just a few items tonight. Happy to report that our spring and summer camps and classes are now live. Registration has been open for a week and a half, maybe close to 2 weeks. I always forget the date, but registration is fully available. All the activities from spring through summer are online. Registration has gone incredibly well. We're really excited for the upcoming season. So if you haven't already looked at it, please do. Please feel free to share the link. Everything is on our city website.
I mean, there were people, just so you know, that were getting up at like 5 a.m. to sign up for the camps the day that it opened. Like seriously, like so eager to get into certain camps through the city. So awesome job getting that out there before, at the beginning of March rather than the end.
Definitely, yeah. All the kudos for that goes to Michelle and her team for making that happen. So,
Thank you. Yeah, we sold out of a few weeks for the city camps.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Speaking of summer, we are continuing to hire. We do need some additional lifeguards at Seaside Lagoon, as well as we do have a few spots still left available in our in our camp program. We are also continuing to hire throughout the year for our after school program. So please feel free. All of the postings are listed on the city website and anyone can apply there. And we're just doing ongoing applications as we receive a few bundles of them. So please encourage anyone interested to apply. And then the last announcement is that on March 23rd from 10 to noon, we are hosting the annual Extravaganza Egg Hunt event at Franklin Park. That is for all ages. We do encourage pre-registration, but it is a free event for anyone to attend. So please come, bring your baskets, and come join the annual festivities there. And that concludes all of the director's report items. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Questions? None? Okay. On to K, which is member items and referrals to staff.
So I'd like to make a motion to put dog park issues on the agenda. I'm just thinking out loud here, but maybe something along the lines of some, not a whole report, but just a brief understanding of sort of the maintenance schedule maybe at the park and what's done there regularly, what's done by Public Works, and just so that we can kind of get a handle on what was discussed earlier during public participation.
I would like to add to that and maybe some more specifics. I agree. I'd like to also support a motion to discuss discuss some of these issues at the next meeting, including, I'd like clarity on specifically the herbicide being used and how often it's being sprayed, and the water station issue, and ask them a little bit about the history of this drainage issue. I don't know if there's anything that anyone else wants to add, and we can try and put that all in a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, definitely.
Who officially made it then with that? You want to,
She
Commissioner
made
Super,
one,
Corman
and then
Super?
I added to it. That was like super messy, but do you want me to rephrase?
No, if Commissioner Corman Super wants to take like full credit for that, we can, we can apply that to her.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
I just wasn't sure if I could like tack on to what she had said.
As long as she's okay with it, we can
Okay.
do that. We can do it that way.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So we had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I just clarify, Commissioner Deckman, you seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
For commentary, when these issues pop up, I try to go out and look at them. I looked at Perry Park, the fence issue. There's surface damage to the court, for instance, but it's not like it's chipped away, but I can see where pickleball can be impeded because of the scuffs. So in this case, I want to visit the doggy park myself also. Maybe if you have time, stop by and look at these things. We can see for ourselves. And this sounds dangerous. The coyotes are dangerous. The herbicide's dangerous. So this is now kind of a safety health issue besides just aesthetics. So.
Just moving on, about the blue folder item that we had. I just don't want to kind of let that fall through the cracks. I'm just wondering if we could, what should we do about that? Like, are we allowed to agendize that for next meeting then? Like a discussion around that letter, or?
You can. It would be most helpful for staff if it was a very specific item in there that you'd like us to direct the report to kind of flow up through, but you could just simply receive and file. My understanding is that was in response to the City Council's motion at the recent meeting. I know that there are some Franklin Park specific actions that were done through the motion. Those items, I'm just looking really quickly, those items that were approved for Franklin Park were not included in the motion asking staff to return for a future discussion. Those were pretty final. So I don't know at this point what we can kind of do at Franklin Park or kind of circle back on. But by all means, if there's something in that letter you want us to return with, we certainly can. It would just be helpful if you can pinpoint what that discussion would be on.
Okay, I didn't realize reading it that it was a response to something that had already occurred.
It came in after the council, and I believe, I can't recall, I don't have the email in front of me.
I'll give you some color. I took a look. So council decided to put 2 courts on top of a basketball court at Franklin. It's done. The letter was in response to the 2021 proposition of 6 courts at Franklin, which didn't happen. So the letter's in response to an issue that doesn't exist because there's not going to be 6 courts. It's only 2. It's on a basketball court, so you can't say it's additional noise on top of the basketball. It doesn't make any sense. So the letter is moot, in my opinion.
Well,
If you take a look at it, that's just me.
Yeah, and the motion that they made at City Council last week was to stripe the volleyball concrete pad with pickleball lines, but that area is already being used on a regular basis for pickleball. And the district council member for District 3, she said she hasn't received any complaints about that. So I think she's just putting some lines on there and resurfacing, and that's it. So there's no additional people that will be there or additional courts
Yeah, I
being
think
added.
they're just, I took it as they don't want any more.
Right.
It was kind of like a reminder, like, hey, by the way, we had this petition. And then the other thing I would say is that I think that letter was addressed to the city council anyway first, and we were just kind of included. So
Oh, I
I would
see.
say if
Okay.
there's any reply, it would be from them, not from us.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So-
I just,
But we did receive it and we read it.
okay.
It took a bit to read everything and figure out that they're responding to the proposed 6 from 2021, which, not the 2, I don't think the 2 today.
Yeah, and the letter's dated from May 2023, so
Yeah.
almost a year old.
Oh, so that's even
Okay.
8 months old,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Oh, okay.
very nostalgic here, this meeting, very nostalgic.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, there is something in here, though, that I'd like to ask. It says, hold on, let me find it. It says that the original footprint of the Friendship Foundation pushed into the park. So the Friendship Foundation is on school district property, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't want to misspeak. I haven't seen kind of the boundaries for it, so I can't answer that specifically. I'm sorry.
Because it seems like that would be a hard, if it is. So you have no idea if that part of the park is city property or school district property?
I don't know at the moment, no.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do we have any other member items or referrals to staff? Okay.
So first one is a request if we can get a copy of a official map boundary at Alta Vista Park showing the city school district boundary line from the snack bar to the north end of the park.
Is that something that we would deliver to you, or?
Yeah, I don't think it would
Okay.
be something that would need to be brought up in a meeting, but
Just
then
wanna
I
make
would,
sure,
I
okay.
would refer it to the people who are asking for it.
Okay, I would just need a motion in a second.
So can we get a motion, or I made the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
All right, thank you. Another item I would like to put on the agenda for a future meeting, a commission discussion to discuss the possible future of the 190th right-of-way for future park use, youth recreation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I get a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then one final measure, I think this is more just a question for staff. Could we, is it possible for the city and the school district, they create memorandums of understanding, MOUs, right, with different issues? And since there is a dialogue of city to school district now going on, that somebody's doing, can we, either I refer, or maybe us as a commission, provide direction, and that direction being to possibly look into the city and the school district creating a lease for the land at Alta Vista Park, and the city taking over the fields in that lease for a set period of time at a very reasonable rate to relieve the school district of all liability of those fields. And would that be something that can be pursued? So I don't know if that's a motion or is that a future agenda item?
I would need it to be a motion if we were going to be moving it forward. I just want to make sure that, because this is a very definitive, like,
Yeah.
you all want the city to pursue this, and I without kind of seeing the boundaries and kind of seeing what the kind of general maintenance and upkeep is. I just don't want you all to make a motion without having that information. So it's completely up to you. If you want to make the motion, we can certainly refer that. I know that there's a representative on the city council that is in direct communication with the school district. We
So
can
then
refer this to them.
So can we make a motion that we recommend to that person that they have a discussion with the school district about this and just leave it at that?
It would be, we would basically present it as this is recommended by the commission for that group, the joint group, to consider and discuss the possibilities of.
Yeah, that would
So,
be.
yes.
That would be exactly what I would like to say. So the motion is, can we, I'm sorry.
I just have a question because we sat with them, we sat with the youth sports leaders, and we talked about this with them a little bit, and so I feel like I'm wondering if it would be beneficial for us to write some sort of letter to whoever is on the council and just laying out what we discovered in our meetings with them and some of the challenges and the concerns about that field space going away at some point if we're not locked into some sort of agreement. So I'm wondering if that would be a good approach to maybe, I don't know how this works with like a motion, but if it would be good for us to communicate our findings to them, to encourage them or give them context for us asking them to begin that
Yeah.
conversation.
You could do one of two things tonight. You could give staff direction to basically refer your recommendation to this joint group, and then we would simply take that motion and then send it over. The second option is we could agendize for future discussion and figure out who's going to author this letter, but the commission would approve a letter that details all the information. I think we did that once, and I can't remember the topic. I think it was the after-school program, actually, and staffing, maybe. I don't remember. But someone on the commission would author this letter. We would agendize it, and you all would review it and make any changes to it. And then once that's approved at the commission, we would forward that over to the group. So we could do one of two things tonight, whatever you feel comfortable doing.
So I would like to do the motion to instruct staff to contact the city representative to have the discussion. And then if you can, I don't know, report back eventually, like, whatever happened. Along with that, we can then also at a later time, we could do the letter like at any time as well. Nothing's gonna happen fast here regardless. But yeah, I think that it would be, and the entities involved, the school district and the city, this has to come from them. I think if we're just on record saying, we recommend you to at least have this conversation, at least consider it, because it might not even be thought of at all. And then, but I would gladly help out or begin writing a letter to have for another meeting.
Yeah, I have another question. If we're on the subcommittee, can we just draft the letter and it be from the subcommittee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we don't really have to.
That's a good idea, actually. And then we could get it out, and then the subcommittee recommends it to the commission. The commission votes on it, and then if it passes, then it goes.
Or we can just send it directly to the council who is interfacing
Well,
with.
to have the weight of the commission, we would have to vote on it, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, we would have to bring it here.
We can send a letter
So we would have
to
to.
the commission.
Right.
So we would have to have a copy of the letter on the agenda, so we would have to have it at the time of the agenda posting. So as long as we have it the week prior, before our meeting, we can discuss it at the upcoming. And then once it's approved, we can certainly forward it on to the council member who is the representative. I don't remember if there's one or two, but we can confirm that.
Okay.
I mean, I think it would be helpful to have that additional information for that person before,
yeah.
they'll need to understand the challenges before they just pick up the phone and start talking to them about.
Yeah, they
you
do.
know.
I don't think,
Yeah.
I think this is just more of having the years of seeing the way things function there. that it's, I think all sides are aware of the issue. It's just a matter of how can we streamline things. And so that's how it kind of came about. And so I'm going to make my motion, which is that staff informs the city representative who's in discussions with the school district representative about using the parks or the school district playgrounds for after hours and for weekends, right? That's the reason why they're meeting now. If they can, in addition to that, discuss the possibility of possibly creating a long-term lease between or memorandum of understanding between the school district and the city at Alta Vista Park, the ball fields at Alta Vista Park, to be, the city would be the leaseholder or the leasee, and the school district would be the leaseholder. So that's the motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I guess what I'm thinking is maybe we should have the letter to go with that motion? Or at least a description of what the issues are?
I'm fine with the motion because I think the conversation may happen sooner or may not. I don't know. But I think the letter is definitely, I mean, if we want to have a letter first, we can have that for the next meeting. That's not a problem. We could spell it out, but to give you some background, is it okay if we kind of talk about it, or is it?
Well, we can't dig into the super details of it
Yeah.
because it's not an agendized item. So keep it very high level.
Okay,
It's
so
really-
then, that was my initial concern, is
Yeah.
this an agenda item or is it a referral to staff?
This is not an agenda. The specific, what you're discussing is not agendized.
Yeah, so that would be, the motion.
So my sort of concern as well, it is similar to Commissioner Deckman's, because I don't think we even know who the council person is that's interfacing with the district. So I feel like personally, I want to make sure that we're like ushering this discussion a little bit and
Okay, then-
making sure that they understand how important it is. So they're not like, well, we're already doing that, or,
So then we do a letter that it would go directly to that person.
Yeah, I guess it would go to that person, yeah.
Yes.
That's fine. I'm fine with
That
that.
that they know what the issues are, but maybe
Well,
we need
I
to
mean,
refresh their memory
they may
because they
not
have a
know.
lot going on, right?
The individuals talking may not know, but everybody else who's dealing with the park knows.
Oh, okay.
Is what I was saying, but that's fine. So then in that case, then there's no motion and there's no referral then either.
Well, we would need to do a motion to set the agenda. Sorry, let me start over. We would need to do a motion to have the subcommittee draft that letter and then for us to agendize it at a future meeting.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion that the subcommittee on the stakeholders for facility users to create a letter which will ask the city representative and the school district representatives to discuss the possibility of creating a lease or a memorandum of understanding at Alta Vista Park for the ball fields. And we will agendize that letter, or we'll bring that letter back to commission to be reviewed and edited, and then possibly motioned and forwarded. Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then I guess I took my ethics training really seriously, but I'm going to recuse myself from any discussions of this, just because my husband's the president of Redondo Sunset. So I need to not.
I heard that if you're not receiving any money, then,
Well, there's no money,
yeah.
just a whole lot of time.
Because I asked about the South Bay Parkland Conservancy,
okay.
and Todd was like, you're not getting any money.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know.
It's completely up to you. You can recuse yourself. We just would need to know the reason for it. Are you
Yeah.
recusing yourself from the vote on the motion or recusing yourself from future discussions on the topic?
probably, not from the motion,
Okay,
but from, because it's just to write a letter, but
yeah.
like, I don't think my name should be on a letter or anything like that. Like, probably from future discussions about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just in case, just to be totally safe. It just seems like a conflict of interest.
You could clarify, I mean, if you wanted to, with, would it be with the clerk? Just get clarity on if this is a topic.
Yeah, we could certainly get clarity on it if you'd like
Okay.
us to, if that would make you feel
Yeah,
more comfortable.
maybe, just,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we can do that, yeah.
I know there's like, it's not about money, but it's still about,
Still a connection.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, sure. We can get some clarity on that.
Okay, do we have any other member items or referrals?
I need to please agendize a discussion on the volunteer groups next week. I need some guidance because I narrowed it down to 8 different categories of volunteer groups, and I want to prioritize who I should reach out to so I can hopefully get a vote on who I should reach out to first. And the doggy park was great. I've got many more categories. I'd like some advice to save time.
If I may, I'm just curious, what is the hesitancy in just sending it out to everyone? Are you just afraid we're going to get inundated?
Everyone? You gonna pay me for this?
For,
It's time.
Well, it's
It's a
email.
time crunch. I
Well,
just
it's
named, I
email.
named
We
20
can-
different organizations. I haven't
Sure.
even scratched the surface yet.
no, and I wasn't suggesting you do it. I was
no,
just
I'm just
suggesting,
saying.
is there a reason why we can't just send it out to everyone at the same time? And we can help create a flyer that we can email out even. I mean, I certainly
Put it
wasn't
on
trying
the
to pin you
cable
on the.
channel- On the cable channel with the information?
That's right.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Volunteer today. Win an award, a surfboard.
With the little
Thank you.
scan code?
But
on
yeah,
it?
just maybe I thought a little bit of a head start here before I started reaching out to people, but I was just gonna make some phone calls to find out, the contact is gonna take hours on 20 different organizations. It's gonna take a while just to figure out who to.
But also,
Good
that
contact.
discussion can also happen during the committee updates.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't necessarily need to be agendized.
I guess so. So, I mean, can we, on that item, can we have an open discussion when we talk about our updates next month?
Yes and no. I mean, it can't just be an open
Right, it
discussion
has to be
regarding,
agendized.
it
Yeah,
would
I
have to be
understand.
agendized. Commissioner Bro, would it be okay for you if maybe you and I and Commissioner Blair, since you guys are on the subcommittee, we can meet offline and kind of go through all the organizations you have and maybe set a game plan? I think Commissioner McCauley makes a good point that there is some marketing and some outreach that on the city side we could certainly do that I don't think would be too
Well, that's fine.
difficult. And that way we can maybe see if we can break this up into chunks, and I don't want it to be overwhelming for anyone. And then we can kind of go from there and see how we want to approach it.
That's great. That's fine.
Okay.
Yep. I'll make a note to get with you too.
Are there any other member items or referrals anyone wanted to mention? Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was easy.